Harisharanam. Today I want to speak on the concept of tapasya in the Bhagavad Gita. Tapasya means putting your body to extreme hardship for prolonged years in order to fulfill some desire or to acquire some supernatural power. The tradition of tapasya is well established in the mainstream Hinduism since times immemorial. This is found both in the Vedic stream and the Puranic stream. Puranas often make somebody stand on one foot for 100 years without food and water in order to fulfill some fond desire. So, in the traditional concept of tapasya, inflicting hardship upon your own body is essential. Now, the Bhagavad Gita is profoundly connected with the Sanatan spiritual tradition, but its beauty is that it eliminates all the elements in the mainstream Hinduism that are unwarranted, and it presents the cream of what is the best in the Sanatan tradition. But before I explain what is the concept of tapasya or austerity in the Bhagavad Gita, I'll narrate to you a small story to clarify what it meant in the traditional Hinduism. You must have heard of King Parikshit, the grandson of the great Mahabharata time warrior Arjuna. He was a very good king, noble king, righteous person, looked after well his people in his kingdom. Like other kings, he went to the forest occasionally for practicing his archery skills on animals. So one day he went for that and shot his arrow at a deer who was hit by the arrow, and then it vanished in the forest. He went about looking for the deer and came across a sage who was sitting in meditation. He went to him and asked him whether he had seen the deer. Sage Shamik did not reply to it because he was on a sacred vow of silence called Mauna Vrat for that day. So the king got a little enraged and frustrated and looked around and found a dead snake lying there. So he picked up the snake and put it around the neck of Sage Shamik. He didn't become angry at all, and he let the king go away. After some time, his son came, whose name was Shringi. He was also a sage and an accomplished sage. He had practiced austerity or tapasya for long years and acquired many supernatural powers. He had not spoken a lie in his life, even in his lighter moments, and therefore he was aware of it that whatever he would say would happen. So, this tradition of the tapasvis or the austere people cursing others was also very common in the Hindu tradition. You know, the great sage Durvasa, very powerful sage. He would curse anybody at the slightest provocation. So there are numerous examples of such saints who would call themselves saints and curse people. So he also cursed King Parikshit when he came to know that it was Parikshit who did it. That Parikshit would die within 7 days of the episode by snake bite. And the king died. Actually died after 7 days. Now, before the king died, as soon as Shringi sage cursed King Parikshit and his father, sage Shamik, came to know about it, he called his son and chastised him, saying that saints and sages should be forgiving, they should be kind, they should not curse anybody like this. And he said that you must do some penance to atone for your wrongdoing. You have two examples here. One is Shamik, that is also a good tradition of tapasya. He was also a tapasvi. And the other is this gentleman called Shringi Rishi. Now, the Bhagavad Gita neither approves of cursing people like this, nor approves of putting oneself to hardship, extreme hardships, for pursuing spiritual or other goals. In one of the verses, God says in the Bhagavad Gita that anybody who inflicts hardships upon his own body actually inflicts hardship upon God residing within his own body as the soul. Of course, he is speaking metaphorically, but this conveys a strong disapproval of the practice. In another verse, he says even more strongly that the person who does tapasya, tapa, and also has ego, a bloated ego, and anger in him, is practically like a demon, even if he is doing for sacred purposes the tapasya or the austerity. So he doesn't approve of putting oneself to extreme hardship in any case. Now, what does God have to say about austerity then, tapasya? He covers the topic in the Bhagavad Gita, and he says there are three kinds of austerities: of the body, of the mind, and of the speech. And you would find in chapter 17, verses 14, 15, and 16, that God has practically totally altered the meaning of tapasya. The word is the same, tapa, but the meaning is different. How? I'll let you know. What is the austerity of the speech? Anudvekaram vakyam satyam priyahitam cha yat. Your speech, if it is such that you would not cause perturbation in the mind of the person listening to you, you speak the truth, but in a pleasant manner and with the intention, the constructive intention of giving him some benefit. Then this is called austerity of the speech. Now, let's come to the austerity of the mind. What is that austerity? Manah prasada saumyatvam maunam atma vinigraha. Keeping yourself, your mind contented and happy is an austerity according to God. Saumyatvam, kindliness, gentleness, is an austerity of the mind. Keeping your mind cool and calm is an austerity of the mind. Self-control is also an austerity of the mind. Bhava sanshuddhi iti etat tapah manasam uchyate. Purification of emotions, refinement of emotions, banish the negative emotions, anger, lust, greed, envy, jealousy, and welcome the positive emotions into your mind. Friendliness, kindliness, reverence, respect, love. Let these flow into your heart. This is called purification of the emotions. Bhava sanshuddhi. So this is all about the austerity of the mind. And then you may say that putting your body to the hardship was the essential feature of the earlier tapasya. So what is the penance or austerity of the body? Tapasya of the body? Again, you won't find any self-torture in this. Dev Dvij Guru Pragya Pujanam Shauchamarjavam. And then Brahmacharya and Ahimsa, which means what? Not only respect the deities, the twice borns, the wise people, and your spiritual master, but also give them some physical service. Do something for them practical. Keep your body and your environment clean. That is an austerity of the body. Live a simple life. That is austerity of the body. Then brahmacharya means celibacy. Celibacy here has two meanings. One is that for renunciates, it is absolute celibacy. For others, having relationships with the wife is celibacy. So you have seen all the physical, mental, and the verbal celibacy. Where is God asking you to put your body and mind to extreme hardship? So he doesn't believe in this kind of a practice. He says that everything can be attained not by torturing yourself, but by joining the shelter of God, not of middle order deities, gods and goddesses, but the shelter of God the Supreme. And he will take care of all your needs. God says in the Bhagavad Gita that you should not have too many desires, worldly desires. Suspend them, drop them. If you can drop all, that is better. But you must survive, yes, But whatever desires you have got, which are not going to harm you, they will be granted by God without having to inflict self-torture upon you. God is full of bliss, and your soul is God, and it is also inherently full of bliss. God is not a sadist that He would be happy to see you torturing yourself. He says that come to me for happiness, with joy. Be His devotee, and that will take care of everything. So that is the concept of austerity in the Bhagavad Gita. So different from traditional Hinduism. Hari Sharanam.
Hari Sharanam.